All right, hey everyone, my name is Dan Saboe.
I'm Robert Wyllie. Sorry, the three members of our group couldn't make it today. Rodrigo's playing tennis at the National Tennis Championship out in Arizona. Brandon's in Germany, and I think Tian's at a computer science conference, so they couldn't make it, though we wish they were with us.
Okay. Well, our project is bridging the digital divide, and we worked in El Progreso, Honduras during the summer using JPC funding to explore potential solutions to the digital divide. Explain
what the division.
Yeah, so the digital divide is a phenomenon that's being studied more and more as the world's increasingly digitalized and information access is spreading around the modern world. Many countries like the U.S. have extremely high levels of connectivity, whereas and other countries are just barely beginning to skim the surface of information access and the economic benefits that will follow from that. So we decided to look at rural communities, semi-rural communities in Honduras around El Progreso to explore how increased connectivity and a better understanding of computers could improve economic situations for very poor villages. Okay, and moving on. Okay, so just to give you an idea of how this thing got started, about a year or two ago, I started working with a nonprofit organization called Students Helping Honduras that works in El Progreso, Honduras. And I lived with them over the summer and got to visit a bunch of villages around the area. One of the villages we visited was called Las Brisas, okay, which we have a photo of up here. Here's actually the school in Las Brisas that we ended up working in. And pretty much what this project is about, as I was hinting at in the beginning, was there's a vast gap between the educational opportunities for many kids in some of the more semi-rural villages versus the kids in urban situations. Okay, where in urban school systems in El Progreso and throughout Honduras, kids will have much better educational resources and services such as English classes and computer education classes. And just 10 miles away, you'll have a school like this that's incredibly underfunded, and it serves 320 kids, and they're going to not receive the same education, and they're going to have very limited educational and economic opportunities for the rest of their lives. So it's creating this gap in the start that extends throughout the rest of their lives. So we decided to work in Las Brisas, and we'll move on to explain how we decided to work there.
Yeah, so Dan gave me a spiel much like this last year at school, and it seemed to me that a community like this might have more exigent needs. You go in and there's a lot of malnutrition, there are healthcare problems, there are economic problems, there are problems with jobs, etc. And so it seemed to me counterintuitive that a computer literacy project would be the first thing that they'd need. And even when we got down to Honduras, we were down there, let's see, the coup happened a month after we were in, there were 2 earthquakes, there was sort of a spike in violent crime in the community we were in, and I just said, well, why computers? Isn't this a little far removed from the emergent, exigent situation on the ground? We went and met pretty soon after because our community partner had more pressing needs at the time, as you might imagine, and so we went to meet with the provost of a local technical university. And he gave this talk to us where he said, well, right, just like Dan was saying, there are these schools in the urban center, and their tuition costs more than it costs to go to his university. And the income divide in the community is such that if you want a good enough job, you have to learn the same skills you have to learn in the United States, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, things like that, office skills. And kids in these other schools just can't get them at all. And so this digital divide is widening and growing. So we went to the community to see if their idea was that was the case as well, if the first thing that they thought they would need was this education. So we split up into 2 groups. I was one of the translators for the group, and Rodrigo, who's out in Arizona this week, who you see there in the picture, was the other translator, and then Dan would lead a 3rd group. And we'd go through, and there were about 70 or 80 households in the village, and we canvassed just about each one. And Honduras is a country where there are so many young children that there's a high priority upon education. It's something like, you remember?
It's half the population of Honduras are under the age of 18.
Yeah, so education is a huge need for them. And so when we got back these responses, it would be, we want education. What kind of education do you want? We want our kids to have these competitive job skills. You want to hit me with the next slide? So another problem that they registered, however, was that security was a main concern where we were, because there are a lot of the children who aren't in school will join these youth gangs. And with the flow of narcotics through the country, et cetera, it's not hard to realize why this is the case. And an attractive option when your only other option is to cut palm trees. So what we did was we went through the school, and we knew we couldn't do anything directly about the security problem on the ground. That was readily apparent. But what we could do was sort of secure the school. And so you see Tian in the picture on the right. We took the most secure building in the center of the school, which had a wall around it, and we wired a security, motion sensor security doors and an alarm system for that. And then we also put welded doors on. That's Brandon working with the welder in the left picture, welded doors, and then welded table frames to hold the computers.
Here's a
Dan,
photo.
You're going to talk about what we did with the computers as well?
Sure. Here's just another photo of more security measures that were taken. This is the computer frames for the computers. Yeah. Okay, so after we started getting this computer lab developing a little bit here, there's a lot of issues that had come up. We had a limited time frame, we had a limited budget, and we wanted to make the best educational change to this school that we could that would affect these kids' futures in an economic way. So initially we had bought 2 computers that were rather expensive, I think around $500 each, and we realized sooner or later that that wasn't going to work. So you can see all these kids crowding around the computers on their recess break. There's no way you could teach a class on computers to these kids. So we explored other options, other technical options that would accomplish our goals. We scouted out prices for computers in 2 different cities over the course of 2 different weeks. We went with our community partners. We asked the staff at the local university what they would recommend. And we found some cheaper computers that were actually cloned computers, which customized. You can let them know exactly the specifications you want, operating systems, anything. So we got cheaper computers, which actually you can buy them reconditioned for around $150 to $200, and they really do a good job. And actually some of the teachers at the school like them more than the original computers.
I thought we had the original idea that it would be harder to make the actual internet platform than the computers, and that we could just buy computers and then sort of customize the platform. When we got down there, it turned out that because it was situated in depression, we couldn't build a radio tower or do anything that we were initially considering doing for the internet platform. So then we decided that to just buy the commercial internet option and then refurbish the computers.
Yeah, for the record though, also the internet option that we ended up, we connected these computers to the internet eventually, as Rob was just saying, but to use a cheaper solution, because we really had to be flexible. We had to be creative with our budget because it's a set budget. So we used a mobile modem for a cell phone service and connects the computers to the internet using the cell phone technology. So and that was a really good solution. It provides limited internet, but it still provides internet and improves the opportunities for the kids. So as we were realizing that we had a problem here, we decided to reevaluate our technical solution. We came up with a new design. The ones in the cages are the more expensive computers, so merited more security measures for them. The other ones were around $150 to $200 each, and we set up the computer lab with the help of the school director, and we hooked up all the computers to the printers and a few of them to the internet, and that's our new design. And actually, after like a week after getting back from Honduras, we got an email from one of the school teachers. We were informed that they've started teaching classes. This was last summer, but they started teaching classes for the kids.
Yeah, we had to train the teachers how to use these computers, and so these pictures are what we did to make the program sustainable. We got all the teachers in the school. They were technically on strike anyway because of the coup this summer, and so they just had them come in instead, and they were very eager to learn the classes, learn new skills, etc. and they're still teaching that program.
The very fun part of the whole summer was teaching them. Most of them 7 of the 9 teachers had never used computers before in their life, and they needed to be ready, and we had like only a few weeks to teach them so they could teach their kids.
But they're up and teaching classes now. So
yes. Okay. One of the last slides here. Obviously, we had to be flexible this summer. There's some interesting things happened. So, and community engagement. They were friends. Okay.
Thank you.